What's up, people? Once again, welcome back to the program. Why should you be trusting a guy who apparently has nowhere to work? Apparently just sits home, does nothing all day, wearing the same sweatshirt every day, talking about some website, talking about all these great ideas. Well, if you've been with me since day one, there's a lot of good things going on. And all I've ever wanted to do is try to form a community of traders, chat room where we could all communicate and get things done and try to make money together and have a good time. That's what it's been all about. Now, where I'm headed is a more regulated kind of environment where the videos might be a little bit toned down, but most importantly, if I do choose to go to this T3 Live, there's going to be a lot of more rules, regulations, and content and compliance, I think would be the best word to be a part of it. If I do head over to T3, I'm just going to be a part of a bigger program. I'm going to have my own show on Fridays, which you're going to have to be a part of the website, which is a fee-based subscription website to see the show on Fridays. And right now we're in discussions whether or not I could actually still do the YouTube show and keep the hitthebid.com website alive in some respects. Because I don't want to let everything go all at the same time. I mean, if it doesn't work out, hitthebid.com could just pop back up 3 months from now and we could start all over again. But they want to talk about the content that we're providing today, and I say that whatever I've done in the past does not matter what is going to be done in the future. So of course I've made a video about running naked through the streets with a battle axe and killing analysts and all that stuff. That's in the past. We can't talk about the past, just like we can't talk about what kind of stock recommendations I've given in the past and how we've made money in the past, because nothing makes any difference until you do something today. I could have given 150 winners and all the nonsense about Dow 20,000 and the market never going up and all the great advice about stocks that I sell out of that you can buy, that I don't own anymore, that continue to go up. All of that means nothing, especially if we've just met today. What does mean something is what's going to happen now. What have you done for me lately? As much as that pisses me off, and I remember being a broker, I could give someone 6 winners in a row, and then I get 1 winner, and all they do is call me and talk about the loser that they have right now. Even though we still have a stock that's up 150% for the last 6 months, the one stock that's down a point, that's all I want to talk about. But that's okay, because that's what it's all about. I'm the same way. Of course, you know, if I'm up 100 grand and you give me a 10 grand loser, we'll be pissed for the moment, but I'm still up 90 grand. But again, that doesn't make a difference, because now I'm going to have to prove myself one more time to a whole new crop of people. And again, the most important thing to me is the entertainment part of this all. I want to make something that's, you know, different than your normal stock market show, obviously. And we're going to be doing a lot of that, according to compliance, of course. And we'll see where that takes us. But right now, let's talk about the stock market. I want to talk about OCZ. Here's a stock, I don't even know if I ever mentioned this stock on the show. This is a stock that came from Meadburn, one of our chat room guys. To me, I've been in the business for a while, to me, when I first read it, when I read what this company does and the description of it all and what they're trying to accomplish, OCZ reminded me of a company called Adaptec. Adaptec was a company that made SCSI drives, a company that tried to make computers work faster. I'm talking about 1995, 1996, 1997. This is one of my biggest winners of all time. Before I would sell out of stocks and have them go up 40 points without me. I actually held on to this stock from about $8 to $35. Of course, it did go to like 50 or 60, but when you hold something from 8 to 35, you really can't complain. But OCZ is a company that, another thing is, I didn't buy a lot of it. And if you know, obviously when I buy something small, it generally tends to work out. There's no options in OCZ. It's another reason I don't like to trade stocks that don't have options, because if I'm going to take a big position, generally I like to hedge myself. Now, let's look at what we're talking about today. Dry ships. DRYS. Apparently, the street is starting to take notice of my bullshit name here. Obviously, it's not my bullshit name, and the reason that we like dry ships, even though it's acted like a piece of garbage for the last 2.5 years, that's what we like. We all want to be a part of a stock that has a turnaround. That's why I've been talking about the JBL. That's why we were talking about SPRD. Remember that? I'm getting a little ahead of myself again. But we got OCZ and we got the dry ships. The dry ships is a very unique situation right now because they're changing their business model. And if we believe, of course we have to suspend our disbelief that everyone is trying to get us, the scams, that all the news and the analysts don't know what they're talking about. We have to suspend all that. If what they're saying is true, the dry ships company is starting to reinvent themselves. They'll make some money on what they normally do, but at the same time, they're getting into a different industry, the oil, drilling, shipping, that kind of thing. You can read the news for yourself. I'm not going to talk about what you've probably read about, but the most important thing is the stock has not given back what it normally gives back. Normally, dry ships gives back all its move over the, let's say it goes up 10%, it gives back 8.5% of that generally within a day or so, and then goes negative. And then it pops, and then it goes negative, and goes nowhere. Right now, dry ships is still hanging on to the bulk of its gains, which is unheard of, which is ridiculous in our eyes. This is mind-blowing stuff. Now, what am I telling you to do? I think I told you last week that we're buying more dry ships. We don't care about the pullbacks. We're buying every dip possible as long as the stock does not dip back under 5. And now we're talking about a big percentage loss. If you're buying the stock at 6.25 and the thing breaks and it goes to 5, that's pretty bad. That's a pretty bad investment on your part. But right now, it's been acting really, really well, and I still am suggesting to buy that stock. Now let's take a look at OCZ. OCZ. Stock is $4.50. Take a look at that stock. It's going to be one of my sleeper picks. Obviously not my pick, but I do endorse the stock right now. I don't mind buying the stock on all dips. Only thing is there's no way of hedging yourself, so make sure you have your stops in if you're that kind of a nervous player. Now we'll go to LLNW, another one of our garbage stocks that has been waking up to the street. Now, LLNW, I've always called this Akamai's illegitimate son because we know Akamai, my favorite stock on the face of the earth, a company that I've made my fortune on, lost my fortune on, made my fortune back on. What fortune? LLNW is the same kind of stock. Now I know, at one point they were saying LLNW was going to eat Akamai's lunch. Baloney. There's companies like Savvis, there's Internet, and you got AT&T, you got Verizon, you got Google. A lot of these companies are getting into the CDN space. The competition is getting greater, but you know what? The internet is not a fad. As much as I think everything in the world is a scam, the internet is not a scam. So we like stocks that are going to help the internet work faster and get things to you without buffering. That was what Akamai was, and there's going to be, in my opinion, more room for more players, and Limelight is one of those players. So, we got the OCZ, we got the Limelight networks, and of course, we got the dry ships. Now, we're also loving the US Steel, right? Because if we are going to believe, right? The idea, always, with any stock recommendation, we have to take into effect that we have to rule out World War III, we have to rule out all the eco-political factors in the world. We're talking about stock-related only if we continue to rise in the stock market. US Steel should be a participant in the next bull market run, which will take us to Dow 20,000. But now I'm actually might be lowering my estimates because I've been doing some more math. I'm thinking Dow 18,300 by December 14th, 2012. Yes, I know. I'm still calling it the Dow 20,000 theory. And also at the year's end, I like to reflect on what we have done and what we have missed. And I was looking at the original 2018 fund, and it is just absolutely mind-blowing where the stocks that I told you to invest in are today. We're talking about the GTIs, the Joy Globals, obviously the US Steel. We had the dry ships in there, and of course the mighty, mighty Apple and the Baidu. Because if you just would have bought the Baidu, even 100 shares, you couldn't care less of the next 20 losers that I give you. Okay, so where are we now? T3 Live. Take a look at the website, and please, if you're trading somewhere, if you're using E-Trade, Scottrade, take a look at Lightspeed, because that's generally what we're going to be using over at T3 Live. And the most important thing is they have a lot of different structures of what you can get into. They have these education courses, and you know how I feel about that. I think the best way to get educated is you're not going to read a book about it. You need to be hands-on, and what I'm going to try to do is get my little niche on their website. So if you want to be taught by a guy that just tells it straight and breaks it down as in the simplest terms, because I try to keep everything simple because I'm a simple guy, and that's the way I want to try to do it. So the moral of the program, see, I didn't say bottom line there, is I'm probably going to be moving, and the website is definitely not going to be the same as it used to be. HitTheBid.net will be coming down. And also, most importantly, start sending me emails, okay? So I can get my core people together. Because if you want to trade with us, we're going to get a group rate together, obviously. I'm going to save on commissions. And if you want to take professional, if you want to make this your course of life, you're going to become a professional trader, which means you need to be part of the broker-dealer, which means you're going to get fingerprinted in the whole thing, and you're going to take this serious. So, this is going out to Hex, my boy. I was in a bad mood that day. And I don't like to be cursed at when I'm in a bad mood and, you know, trying to take things a little bit more seriously, and I was in a pissed off mood already. So, but I welcome you back because you did have some good ideas. It's just that if I have a new guy coming into the chat room and he's looking to say what's up and trying to figure out what's going on the website, and you're telling him to suck your whatever, generally that's not good for business. So try to respect that. And when you come into the chat room, I know coming from me, it's hard for me to tell you guys to stop joking around, but there is a time and a place for everything. And I just think after doing this for 3 years for nothing, that you could just show a little bit of respect in the chat room and not berate people. Obviously, if you want to pick on somebody for giving 30 bad recommendations in a row and then coming into the chat room and saying how smart you are, you're going to take abuse, buddy. And I think I know who you are. And we think you know, I know, you know that who you are. You can't come in giving recommendations and then come in saying how everything worked out when we obviously know that you're lying. So if you're not ready to take a little beating, then, you know, that's it. And if you come into the chat room and you see somebody getting their ass reamed, it's because probably they are one of those, either a penny stock promoter, which we don't allow in the chat room. We try to weed those guys out. We don't have many of those in the chat room. Or you're just one of those guys who continues to say that you're right when we all know you're wrong. So let's see how we're doing this morning. Dry ships. Dry ships, man. That's it. DRYS. I don't care. I don't care. Buy all you can. Alright. That's it. We're at the point of 6:35. This was a significant point that we were looking to see if it could break out of. Kind of disappointed doing it on a Friday. I was hoping for a little bit of weekend option expiration. Some of the premiums would have came down. I'm looking to buy the June $7 calls for 50 cents now for the last couple of days, and got no prints whatsoever. So I think I'm just going to buy some more of the stock itself. Alright, good luck to you, and I'll give you more information on where we're headed and what we're doing as soon as I know what it is. Thanks for still hanging out and being a part of this. And of course, February, the Traders Expo is in New York, so come on down and you get to hang out with me and my new crew. Alright, dry ships breaking out. See ya.
I would much prefer Krull.